Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the channel. It's your boy once again with the third video of the night with Boxing News and Rumors episode number 1. Going over some boxing information that's going on in the sport of boxing. The first story I'd like to talk about is about Gervonta Davis being open to fighting Heaney after he faces Ryan Garcia in a rematch. My thoughts on Gervonta Davis. When he first started out, I thought he was an excellent fighter. I still do think he's a great fighter, but as he's getting big for his britches, Gervonta Davis is not exactly what I would call a guy that's really pushing himself to the limit. He's only caring about a paycheck and getting the hell out of boxing. Basically, making boxing his own personal whore or bitch. And not really caring about a legacy along with the money that comes with it. And me personally, I think Gervonta Davis is a fantastic fighter. I love to see him fight, but his fights, not so much. His opponents that he faces, not so much. He is facing Lamont Roach March 1st. I unfortunately will not be able to catch this event. I was really looking forward to possibly doing it, but I just don't feel like I got the money to do so with this. So I'm probably going to pass up on it. But Lamont Roach, I think, has got a possible shot at winning this fight against Gervonta Davis. I think Gervonta Davis better not take Lamont Roach easily. Lamont Roach is actually a plus 700 from what I've seen on some sports books. Tank Davis is like a minus 1300, I think. So he's really high up there as being a favorite. So he's a guy that you definitely got to parlay if you're going to use Tank Davis, Gervonta Davis, whatever you want to call him. And he's interested in facing Devin Heaney, even if he loses to Ryan Garcia in a rematch. Ryan Garcia and Devin Heaney faced each other last year in April in a really good fight. Devin Heaney actually got his ass beat, though. Ryan Garcia knocked him down, I think, 2 or 3 times in that fight. Absolutely insane. Let me just get into the story here. Gervonta Davis says he's open to fight against Devin Heaney, even if he loses in a rematch to Ryan Garcia. Of course he is. Devin Heaney is a easier opponent than a Ryan Garcia or Keyshawn Davis, who has been shouting out to Gervonta Davis multiple times to have a fight with him. But again, Gervonta Davis refuses to do any such thing with Keyshawn Davis. I think Keyshawn Davis would knock Gervonta Davis out. Not to mention he's got him beat in height and reach. Gervonta Davis would need to go inside to hit Keyshawn. I don't think that would work. I think Keyshawn would destroy him. Straight up. That's why I think Gervonta won't take it. Gervonta Davis wants the former 2-division world champion Devin Heaney, who's 31-0. I still count it as a 31-1 because he lost, even though Ryan Garcia was tested positive for PEDs. He still got his ass kicked. I don't care if Ryan Garcia was on PEDs or not. But Devin Heaney is to redeem himself first by performing well in his second fight with Ryan Garcia. Heaney will first take a tune-up against Jose Ramirez on May 2nd on the Ryan versus Ronaldo Raleigh Romero card in New York City. Tank might not be aware of Ramirez's fight that Heaney has in front of him before he even gets to a rematch with Ryan Garcia. If Heaney loses both of those fights, would Gervonta Davis still be interested in fighting him? Of course he would be. he would definitely be interested. That would be easy money, easy payday, and him just beat his ass, and a way of defending his title. That's all he would do. Gervonta Davis is shit. He's not a guy that is going to go in there and actually fight legitimate competition. He fights guys that are below his competition, that are not at his level, so he can pad his record and make sure that he can't be defeated. That's the only thing that this guy does. Which I'm not too keen on. So Shakur Stevenson is taking nothing but easy fights against weak punchers since he was exposed by Edwin D. Los Santos in 2023. Stevenson is just looking for a payday against Tank Davis and his promoter Eddie Hearn. And his promoter Eddie Hearn is ensuring he doesn't lose by feeding him scrubs. Shakur is just a fake. So you can't blame Tank Davis for wanting nothing to do with the narcissistic hype job. He doesn't deserve to meet with the king. As for Keyshawn Davis, he's just a weight bully who shouldn't even be fighting at 135. As big as he is, he should be a middleweight. This is what the writer of Boxing 24/7 News had to say. Very biased opinion here. Sounds like he's a very Gervonta Davis guy. He brings up about weight issue. Another problem that Tank is overlooking is Heaney will be moving up to 147 and will be campaigning in that weight class. It could be asking a lot of him to return to 140 as a condition for fighting Tank. It might be doable for Heaney, but even if he does make the weight, he's likely to rehydrate to 160 pounds. So Tank is still going to be outweighed by a whole bunch. Heaney would never agree to a 10-pound rehydration clause as a condition to fight Tank, as Ryan foolishly did. He couldn't go 10 pounds above the contracted weight of 136, and he looked like a dead man walking on the night of the fight. This is what Gervonta Davis' stance is. I would definitely be open to fighting Devin Heaney for sure, but he's got to redeem himself. If he looks good in his next fight, or if the fight don't go good, or even if he looks good against Ryan too and he don't get the win, I feel it would still be a good fight to have, said Gervonta Davis. My attitude is I think Devin Heaney and Gervonta Davis would be a great fight. I think Devin Heaney would bring in a lot of buzz for Gervonta Davis's fight. People would say a little bit like, hey, he's facing a little bit higher up level competition. And a guy like Devin Heaney, he is a top-notch competitor in boxing, but I mean, Ryan Garcia exposed him straight up. When you put him up against a pressure fighter that has power ability like Ryan Garcia, you're going to lose. And that's what Gervonta Davis is. He's a guy that will take rounds and give up those rounds to later knock you on your ass. Plain and simple. I honestly think that Gervonta Davis facing Devin Heaney is a way of him saying, look, I'm facing a little bit higher level competition. You guys have no reason to complain about this fight. And it's an easy payday for him because Gervonta Davis would knock him the fuck out. Ryan Garcia has already done it. So if Garcia can do it, why can't Gervonta Davis do it? Devin Heaney is a touch-em-up fighter who goes to decisions most of the time, unless he's facing a lower-level fighter where he could knock him out. That's the only time Devin Heaney has actually knocked out competition. He doesn't usually knock out his opponents all the time. It usually goes to a judge's scorecard, and that's basically it. It gives you a good, entertaining fight. He had one with Lomachenko a couple of years back that was entertaining. Some people say Lomachenko actually won that fight. I would agree with them, but that wasn't how the cards went, thanks to the judges. Personally, I think Devin Heaney is on his last legs. He loses to Ryan Garcia. He's going to be completely exposed, and Devin Heaney is going to get his ass beat by Gervonta Davis. Plain and simple. So that's just my attitude on Gervonta Davis and his outlook on fighting Devin Heaney. I think it's a cheap way of saying, look, I'm facing better competition. That's it, plain and simple. Another guy that I actually like and enjoy seeing fight is Keyshawn Davis. Keyshawn Davis, as of Friday, February 14th of last week, he actually ends up winning the believe it was the junior lightweight championship. Give me 1 second here. Yeah, he ended up winning the WBO lightweight championship and beating Denise Bernacek, who's 19-1, and had 9 KOs going into the fight in the 4th round. I saw that fight live. I like Keyshawn Davis. This kid is really good, very talented. He's got a bright future. Bob Erm said that he is a sensational young talent. Believes he's going to be a fucking future star fighter in boxing, and he's going to make big waves in the boxing world. I personally think that this guy deserves to face Gervonta Davis, as I've already mentioned. Keyshawn Davis has got a lot of talent. There's talk about Davis made call-outs to Isaac Cruz. That would be a great fight, though Isaac Cruz would be in a total disadvantage when it comes to height and reach. Same with Gervonta Davis. He also is interested in Lomachenko. Well, there's other matchups that make sense. What the writer said is that Keyshawn Davis could go ahead and face Vasily Lomachenko as well as William Zepeda. I think those two would be really good fights. I think Lomachenko and him could produce a pay-per-view for Top Rank. That would definitely be something I would tune in for. That's a huge fight. I would not put that fight on regular television. I get people to pay to see that fight. And if you don't think that fight would sell as the main event, I'd make that a co-main event and have something running right along with it as the main event that you'd feel that would sell really big. Because these two, they belong on pay-per-view. Lomachenko and Keyshawn Davis, most definitely. William Zepeda, I would say they would be a co-main event fight. And the reason why I say that is because both of their names are not as well as established as Lomachenko. Lomachenko is a top-notch lightweight fighter and a former champion. So Keyshawn Davis getting to the main event, me booking him in the main event, fantasy booking-wise, that would happen in my world because of Lomachenko's name. If he beats Lomachenko, Keyshawn Davis, stock is going up even more with his own name by beating Lomachenko right there. The writer goes on further saying some view Cuban Andy Cruz as a skeleton in Keyshawn Davis's closet. Cruz defeated Davis 4 times in amateur ranks, including in the gold medal match at the recent Tokyo Olympics. Amateur and professional boxing are different animals, but beating someone 4 times is beating someone 4 times. Davis versus Cruz could be a fight for a few years down the road after Cruz establishes himself in the pro ranks. That would be, you could build a story around that shit if you want to go wrestling wise, the wrestling mentality world, and bring that into the building the hype around this. Keyshawn Davis does train with Brian McIntyre. He also trains with Terrence Crawford and Shakur Stevenson, two great talented boxers. And Keyshawn is making good on expectations many observers had for his career. Having all the attributes to become a superstar is one thing. Putting them together and actualizing that potential into results is another. An interesting wrinkle on Keyshawn Davis's road to unifying the lightweight division is his relationship with fellow 135-pound champion and stablemate Shakur Stevenson. Davis has never entertained a potential fight between himself and Shakur. Davis told Talk Sport, "No, I'd never fight him. It's definitely deeper. His mom is DMing me all the time. I'm about to spar his brother today. I know his entire family. I even know his sisters. I've known Shakur almost his entire life. I know his cousins. I know his whole entire family. So it's not even all about Shakur. It is admirable that even at a young age, Davis recognizes some things are more important than boxing. Whatever comes next for Keyshawn Davis, he will be a force to be reckoned with in boxing for years to come." I totally agree. I think it is a very professional thing for him to not want to go after Shakur Stevenson, but at the end of the day, Shakur Stevenson needs an entertaining fight. Davis needs more well-established fighters to compete against to bring up his stock. With both of them being friends, both of them being professional in this situation, it could work. It doesn't mean that they have to go into the ring and literally kill each other, even though that's generally what they do. They go in there to fight. But they're going in there both trying to help each other out. In a way, you're looking at helping one another out. Financially, professionally, everything else. These two actually competing, in my personal opinion, is a win-win situation. The only downside is Shakur Stevenson being the level that he's at right now, even though he's not very likable on paper because of his style of boxing, and it's boring to some people. Me, I'm not one of those people. I actually enjoy watching his fights, even though they might be boring. This is not pro wrestling, folks. This is not a movie. This is real life. These guys are going into this ring and beating the fucking shit out of each other. There's no entertainment value in this. You watch it because you love the fucking sport. Not because, you want to see entertainment. If you want to go see entertainment, go watch wrestling or go watch fucking a movie or something. This is a sport. These guys are not... me personally, if I was a fighter, I would not be concerned about whether or not I entertain the crowd. Now, granted, that is an important factor so that you can get pay-per-view buys, but at the end of the day, you're in there to win a fight. That's the key focal point of the whole damn thing. Win the fight, whatever way possible that works for you. If you can't appreciate the way someone fights as a fan, then you're not really a fan of that sport. You're in there wanting to be a part of boxing, whether you're betting on it or you want to see blood. You're a bloodthirsty fucking animal. You're not a fan of boxing if you don't like Shakur Stevenson, in my personal opinion. Because the man's just going in there fighting a style that works for him to helps him get wins. That's what he's in there for, folks. He's there to get W's. He's not in there for entertainment. If he wanted to be sports entertainment, he ought to go to WWE or AEW, which is what my channel is heavily found, is what I review on and talk about is pro wrestling. I love boxing. I love UFC. I love MMA in general. I love all kinds of sports. And this channel is focused on pro wrestling, but I'll tell you what, you want entertainment, go watch WWE, go watch AEW, go watch pro wrestling, go watch a scripted show. This shit ain't scripted. This is real as real can get. And me, if I was a fighter, my concern would be, how am I supposed to win this fight so I can walk out with a W? And that's what I'd do. And Shakur Stevenson's style of fighting works, and it gets him the W's all the fucking time. So, there you go. Floyd Mayweather was considered to be boring as hell, and yet Floyd Mayweather got pay-per-view buys out the fucking ass. Now, granted, he was knocking people out in the beginning of his career, but as he got popular, he was going to decisions and fighting the way Shakur Stevenson fought, and people said he was boring as well, but yet he brought in a ton of fucking pay-per-view buys all the time. Over millions of pay-per-view buys, sometimes a little under, but close to it, but in most cases, Floyd Mayweather was bringing in fucking money hand over fist when he had a boxing event. So, if Floyd can do it, anyone else can do that. It just is what it is, the way I see it. What I'd like to talk about is Virgil Ortiz's opinion on Azrael Madrimov and what he thinks he's going to do in this fight. He thinks he's going to be desperate in this fight. I don't think Madrimov is going to be desperate against Virgil Ortiz, but I think he's going to look at him as a lower level fighter compared to Terrence Crawford. And he's going to be more going out there, trying to find ways of connecting. And he's going to try to knock him the fuck out. When I watched Terrence Crawford fight him, Israel Madrimov, to me, came across like he was trying to be respective of Crawford's talent and ability to fight, and he was trying to be very careful so he didn't get himself knocked out. This fight, though, of Virgil Ortiz, I think is going to be different. I think he's going to come out swinging. He's going to do what he did against other opponents in the past. But the one thing that Virgil Ortiz is going to do that's going to help him win, despite the fact Israel is going to come out swinging compared to what he did against Crawford, is Virgil Ortiz has a fucking hell of a chin. I watched his fight against Bochuk, Serhii Bochuk, on August 10th, back last year, and folks, that was a hell of a fucking fight. Probably a fight of the year candidate, in my personal opinion, for 2024. That was an extremely close fight, and Virgil Ortiz could have lost that fight. It was so damn close. I would not have said that it was a bad call by the judges to give it to Bochuk in that fight. And Ortiz took some really, really tough shots. Managed to stand up, still keep fighting with this guy, and walked away with a W against him. And personally, I think that Virgil Ortiz is going to win this fight hands down without question. I don't think he's going to have any issues winning this fight. He's actually a minus 125 on sportsbooks. He might be higher on others, but the one sportsbook I have, he's like a minus 125. It might have gone up since the last time I checked. But, man, Virgil Ortiz, he's a hell of a dude and one tough son of a bitch. And I honestly think he's going to walk away with the W on February 22nd. So, yeah, I'm taking Virgil Ortiz in that fight. But Madrimov, he could end up winning the fight. He could. He's not no snot-nosed punk guy that just got lucky one day and managed to get moved up to the higher rankings and got a big fight with Terrence Crawford out of fucking nowhere. He did something to earn it, of course. So yeah, I think Virgil Ortiz though is gonna beat him. I don't think he's gonna have any problems. But I disagree with Virgil Ortiz's comment that he thinks it's gonna be a him being desperate. I highly doubt he's gonna come out being desperate. I just think he's gonna look at him as an easier target to hit and take a chance with than Terrence Crawford, because Terrence Crawford is such a high level fighter. While Virgil Ortiz and him are kind of like in the same level of fights, even though Virgil Ortiz has got 22 fights under his belt. He's got 22 wins, 0 losses with 21 knockouts. This guy's fucking killer. Madrimov is not that bad either. He's 10-1-1. Got 7 KOs out of those 10 wins, so that's not too bad either. I mean, it's going to be an entertaining fight. This is definitely a fight I could have seen on a main event card for DAZN type of fight card off of a pay-per-view. Hands down, without question. But this is on a Riyadh season pay-per-view card that's going to be taking place on DAZN for pay-per-view. And I'm looking forward to this fight. This is going to be really fucking good. There's quite a few fights on this card that I'm looking forward to, which I'm going to go over in a little bit after I'm done with this news and rumors for boxing. So I want to talk about Jaron Ennis, or Jaron Boots Ennis versus Stanos. This is actually a unification title fight for the IBF, WBA, and Ring Magazine World Welterweight Unification Championship fight. This is big. I am definitely looking forward to this. This is taking place on April 12th. And I'm kind of wondering why Jaron Ennis passed up an opportunity to face Virgil Ortiz for the WBC Interim Junior Middleweight title. The only thing I can get from that is they state that he wanted to stay at 147. I mean, granted, that might be the best bet. I mean, let's take a look at Jaron Ennis's height and weights and so forth. Give me 1 second. Or Jaron, I might have been mispronouncing the name. It's Jaron Ennis. Let's see what he is at height and reach. He has 5'10" and 74-inch reach. Not bad. And he weighs at welterweight at 147 pounds. So, this could be interesting between these two. I've heard of his opponent, Stananos. He's actually 15-0 with 19 KOs. And a lot of people are saying that Boots, being 33-0 with 29 KOs, loses this fight. He's never going to hear the end of it from fans, because he recently turned down a massive career payday to challenge Virgil Ortiz Jr. for WBC Interim Junior Middleweight title, because he wanted to stay at 147 pounds. Which I don't blame him. I mean, he's 5'10", 147 for him. It might be the best thing for him until he runs out of opponents to face, and then he could try moving up. But, I mean, currently right now, I don't know. I think Stanos, whatever way you pronounce his name. I'm really bad at pronouncing names. I apologize. But yeah, Jaron Ennis, facing this guy. This should be a fucking good match. Very good fight between these two. And I think Jaron is gonna pick up the victory here. and walk away with the W and get all 3 belts under his name. This should be a really good fight, and looking forward to it. Eddie Hearns, I gotta give him this credit. Matchroom develops really good fights, but when they do crossovers with other promotions and have fights, they fucking lose all the time. It's fucking terrible. And we will then go straight to the actual predictions on the Riyadh season boxing card for February 22nd. Give you my picks on who I think are going to win those fights. Me personally, as we already know, there is a fight guaranteed to happen with Canelo and Terrence Crawford. Finally, Canelo Alvarez is taking the fight with Terrence Crawford, and it is happening in September. I am definitely buying this pay-per-view. I don't give a fuck what the price is. If it's even $100, I'm buying this motherfucker. They're unboxing 24/7 news. They're talking about how is there an upset in the making with Terrence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez? I think Canelo Alvarez facing Terrence Crawford is an upgrade in talent. I think Terrence Crawford could pull off this victory. It is an uphill battle for him. He's moving up in weight. And Canelo, I think, is a slight better fighter than him. He's knocked opponents down before. He's been able to get through a lot of high-level talented fighters. Canelo is on the top of the boxing world, truthfully. He's the kingpin of boxing at this point in time, with name recognition and everything else in between. Crawford pulls off this, he may be the new kingpin of boxing. Or he may just retire and call it a day. I mean, Terrence Crawford has beaten a lot of well-talented fighters in boxing. Granted, I think if you know, Crawford being plus money and him being an underdog, I would definitely shoot for an underdog on this one. I mean, there's no reason not to. If he's like plus 400 or something like that, I'd say do it. Why not? Throw $25 down. You lose, oh well, you lost $25. It's not like you can't go to the movies and spend $25 on 2 movie tickets for you and your girlfriend to go see a movie. So why not try to win some extra money with a plus 400 odds on $25? I see you walking away with a couple of $100. I mean, that's not a bad deal, honestly. So, that's just me. I think that would be super cool if that was the case, because I would definitely throw down 25 on a plus 400 Terrence Crawford, most definitely. With his abilities and everything else, you got a shot at winning something with him. He may not let you down. He may let you down. You don't know. But Terrence Crawford, definitely an upset in the making against Canelo. He's somebody to look out for. He's not some fucking pushover. And I think it's going to be the best fight Canelo has had in a very long time since Mayweather. Bivol was another one. He lost to him. So Terrence Crawford could beat him. It's a possibility, but I'm not going to say, oh, well, you know, Terrence Crawford's going to win the fight. No, I'm not. I know the level of Canelo Alvarez and what he can do. These two names are the top tier of boxing. And for them to even go through with this after a year of conversation of this actually taking place, and Canelo denying Terrence Crawford multiple times, and now he's finally giving him the fight, makes me think that Canelo is run out of opponents that can give him the kind of money he's looking for. So at this point, he's like, all right, where's the big payday? I guess I'm going to have to take Terrence Crawford as that guy. That's the way I'm seeing it with Canelo. Because why would Canelo Alvarez take a fight with Terrence Crawford when he denied him the whole whole last year in 2024 of a possible match, and now all of a sudden he's granting him the damn fight. Unless there's something missing here that I didn't find, please let me know in the comments down below. But at this time, you know what to do. Hit the like button if you like this video. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to the channel. And I thank you very much for watching. Have a great night, guys. And I will be back with a preview predictions on my picks for the selection of fights that I am aware of that I'm going to pick. And let you guys know what kind of bets that I would be doing in this. So anyway, guys, I thank you very much for watching. And I'll speak to you again soon.